Hello everyone, I'm Psychotic and that's also my screen name. Today we're going to be checking out Icarus, the game, not the Greek story. This is a survival game with the premise of making claims on a newly terraformed planet. The game is absolutely gorgeous. They went for photorealism here and they absolutely nailed it, especially when you consider it's about 2 years old at this point. Some of the mechanics are a little odd, but overall it's a fantastic game. The devs have added something to the game every week for a little over 2 years. 119 weeks was this week. They're constantly adding new items, creatures, and occasionally mechanics, but it's rare. If you learn anything useful today, or if you have a good time, please don't be afraid to drop a like. If you're feeling friendly, maybe go ahead and subscribe. But either way, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I've already got some characters here. They've really changed how this worked from when it started. You used to not be able to respec it all, so if you wanted different characters for different things, you had to make multiple characters. They also had kind of a permadeath mechanic that they've since gotten rid of, so if you accidentally left a character on a planet past the time, that character was gone forever, you had to make a new one. That's no longer the case, so don't let that scare you if this is something you might want to play. They've also made it a lot more forgiving with the skill trees, and your skill trees, you're still set. The max level is 60, I believe, and the tech points are where it's been a lot more forgiving now. It used to be you had to very, very carefully pick and choose your way along the path because you did not have enough tech points to fill out all of the trees. Now, they've since changed it to where you can overlevel. You won't get any more perk points, but you will still get tech points, so you can eventually flesh everything out. You still want to be kind of choosy in the early game, but in the late game, it's fine. Now, obviously, we can have multiple characters. There are 3 different game modes, so we're going to go ahead and create a new character anyway. There are not a lot of options. You have male or female, and some suit colors that aren't super giving. And then you've got 2 voices, male or female. There's a handful of heads. They're all very Russian-esque, which kind of checks out, I suppose. And honestly, the lack of features here isn't really a big deal, because you don't really see your character that much. So, once you get in-game, you're constantly going to be in your suit. So we'll go ahead and make him. Now, there are 3 types of game modes. You have outposts, which are risk-free, so there's no predators. Reduced EXP amount, calm weather, so no storms. Fewer enemies, but resources regenerate. It's kind of like an open world. There's no timer on these. Then you have open world, where it's truly open world. So you have your weather, you have your creatures, you have everything. XP is normal, and you have no timer. You can do whatever you want, however you want, whenever you want, wherever you want. Now, the missions are very specific. There's currently 3 maps here, and the maps are friggin' huge. But there are so many optional missions, and here's where a lot of people get hung up, is they think that everything in this game is timed, and that's not entirely true. Now, with the missions, you do these so that you can earn rewards, and then you use those rewards to go to your workshop, and you can unlock and purchase items. Now, when you drop anything that you unlock through your tech tree or you craft on the planet, you cannot bring back to space with you, so you can't take it to a new mission. But anything that you drop with that you have unlocked and or purchased, that can come back with you. And there's quite a few different things here. You can even, if you have a lot of resources, like I've obviously played this game a crap ton, you can actually buy ores and other things to drop with you. Seeds, things to make your life a little bit easier. Even crop plots. Deployables, you can get weatherproof crates, you can get canisters, a furnace, a campfire, so you don't have to craft them on planet. All of the tools. You can even get some weapons. You can't get any of the firearms, but you can get bows and crossbows and knives. And some of these, like the early knife is okay. 150% yield from skinning is pretty solid. I think the bone knife is either 125 or 130%. So you have to get into the actual ores before you can get better. But if you come up here, like this one's got 225% yield, which is on par with some of the better metal ones. I think the best metal one is still slightly higher. I could be wrong on that, though. Then, like here, you've got your a little bit less yield, but it does extra melee damage. Some of these do elemental damage. The bows, I'm very particular about my weapons. I actually prefer to use this one. Technically, this one is higher DPS, and I do have it, but this one's 125% projectile damage, 1 ammo capacity, and 300 rate of fire per minute. The 0.7 seconds to reload is where the DPS versus damage is different. This is only 90% projectile damage, but it's 0.3 seconds to reload. So take 90 times 2 and you get 180 instead of 125. So technically this is higher DPS, but generally speaking, I'm not following up on shots that fast, so I would rather have the initial impact. And then, yeah, the missions are where you get those currencies. Like this one just gives credits. But like over here, if we do this one, you get credits and relics. You can also get them from open world if you get far enough along your tree that you can craft stuff, which is how I got most of mine. And those will reset periodically. They have added a lot of missions. That's why my trees look weird. Some of like these didn't exist back when I cleared the map. So we will go ahead and start a new mission just to show kind of what the game actually looks like. And we're just going to start with the starter mission on our brand new character. Now, anybody that's watched my channel for any amount of time knows that I am not a hard mode guy and I am not an easy mode guy. I am a normal mode guy. I like to play the game the way that the developers intended when they made it. That's my big push for almost everything that I play. This game is the exception. So if you look, you actually get 50% more rewards if you play on hard, but that's not the main reason I do it. So if you look, their damages are reduced in normal mode, which is fine. They're reduced a little bit less in hard mode. They're reduced still because of it's the very first mission. That changes later on. The big reason that I like to play on hard mode is because the wolf spawn rates and the bear spawn rates, basically all of your predator spawn rates increase, which makes it much easier to get your prime meats, to get your furs, to get your leather. Makes the game a whole lot easier for some of those materials, including your bones. Now, hard mode or hardcore mode makes it so you're perma-die, but it also gives you an additional 50%, so you can double your reward if you run both of these. I never do hard mode on missions that I'm not familiar or comfortable with, but this is the starter one, so I'm not going to worry about it. Now, I've got some stuff down in settlements, so that's where that's coming from. Generally speaking, you would just have to go out like this with a single oxygen slot. We are going to take some quality of life things, just because I want to try to make this a little bit easier on us. Okay, so we're going to take one that gives us more weight capacity, one that allows us to survive better in caves with pneumonia. We're going to take one that highlights animal health bars and animals when aiming with the bow. And the reason that I'm doing that is to make the mission go a little bit faster. Because when you very first start out, finding animals is kind of a pain in the ass. But once you've been around for a minute, you can get some perks that do these. And at that point, it's a little bit faster. But since we're taking a fresh drop just to show what the first missions and game look like, we're not going to bother with it. Now, your drop pod location is always kind of random. So when I'm dropping, I like to use my map to see where I'm going to land. Now, I know there's a really nice cave up here. And I know that there's a couple of caves along here. There's also a cave right here that we might use. We might use that one. There's a really cool underwater cave up here that we might check out. We're not going to be in here super long. I like that the song that you're listening to on your way down is Free Falling, and apparently you owe Saul $12. Alright, so we knocked down a tree, which is a great start. We can take all. So that should have put everything in our suit. It did. Excellent. So since we're... Whoops. Since we're brand spanking new, we're going to have to get some tools.
Wildlife's out to kill you. And the weather's like nothing you've ever seen.
Now, like he said, we have to get oxygen. That is a thing.
But you know what you're doing.
All right, we need some rocks.
That's why you came all the way out here and dropped with nothing.
I don't know if that's enough or not.
Well, UDA wants you to show you understand the basics before they send you anywhere really dangerous.
All right, here's some O2.
So get
So
acquainted.
all of the suits have an O2 slot, so we can put that in there. There's an actual rock, but we need a pickaxe for it.
Stay safe.
Water, you can drink out of the water, but you have to be careful because you can get parasites. Alright, so we're going to make a pickaxe first because stone is the hardest thing to get. And we're going to make an axe. Okay. So we'll use our axe and get ourselves some wood here. So it actually chunks these up partially. And then you have to pick up the parts. There's a perk that you can pick later on to fix that. And we do still have, we have air, we have water, and we have food that we have to worry about. And we have temperatures that we have to worry about. And storms are super, super nasty. You always want to have shelter. And I recommend waiting on the shelter to get stone before you try to put it out where a storm can get to it. One of the fastest ways to level in the early game is just to chop trees. And since you can see the timer at the top, we have 6 days and 23 minutes, or 6 days, 23 hours, and 57 minutes to finish this mission. That's real-time days, whether you're online or not.
New skills come new possibilities.
Okay, so we want to go to combat, and we're going to go there. And we're going to go to solo. Oh, we didn't get any solo yet. Okay. And then in our tech tree, there's a very specific way that we want to start this. We want a knife, and then we want a bow, and then we want some arrows. And then we want a campfire. Alright, now we should be good to craft said bow. We are. And then as many of these as we can. Looks like only 5. But it's a start. Now I like to keep these down on your bar. You don't have to. But I put them down there just so that I can see my quantity. Berries are a fantastic early game food. They don't really fill you very much, but they give you a really nice stamina buff. Now you can see the health bars of the animals. Oh, that was a bad shot. Okay, the horses are actually hostile. Headshot. Oh, shit. There we go. Alright. I forgot to make us a knife. So we needed rocks. There's a wolf nearby, too. It's not good. So we're not really armed yet. Now, they do pixelation when you're harvesting ores and rocks, as you can see. So you actually have to harvest the whole thing, which is kind of cool. Now, crafting takes time. But it will craft while you're doing other stuff, so it's not super bad. Alright, here's our horse. And then we can use our knife to get extra bones out of it. Alright, some extra air is probably not a bad idea. Downside is air is heavy, so you really want to buy the air tanks as soon as possible. Wolves are extremely good XP. Better even than trees. The problem is there's not a super high quantity of them. Now you do have to be a little bit careful. Because these bodies, bones, and bodies like this will attract predators. Which, I mean, it's good if you're hunting, because you can kill a deer and leave the bones, and then just wait for things to come to you. Alright. Can we get to bone yet? Nope, level 5. But we can get some bonus damage going here, and we can get some movement speed going, which will help us quite a bit. Now, for this mission, they just want you to build a shelter and a bedroll in it to survive. They also want you to hunt, gather, and craft, which we're doing. Of course we're doing. So we need a bedroll. And pretty much that's it. As far as the starting requirements, a torch is never a bad idea. It really helps you to be aware of what's around you, though, having the health bars. And if you go down the hunting tree, they're not super far down there to get a hold of them. Or you can use mods, like we are. Alright, so let's head to our cave. So, like I was saying, we really don't want a wooden structure because any storms will tear it apart. These are carrots. Generally speaking, I only use wood for a quick toss together something if I'm trying to do something, like quickly get up a hill or along those lines. Or if you're building inside a cave. But generally speaking, you only want to build with stone outside. Now this is actually a cave. So we can actually chop our way in through the stone. Now the downside to the caves is every cave has between 1 and 10 cave worms in it. And the cave worms are kind of a pain in the ass to fight. They will spit at you. They can cause damage over time. They can kill you very easily if you're not careful, basically. Their critical spot is actually their open mouth when they get ready to spit. Makes it a little bit more dangerous too. And their spit has a splash range, so you have to be a little bit careful. Now, we don't want to remove this whole thing either, because we can use this as added shelter. Well, hi there. And then you can get loot from them. This character hasn't unlocked the stuff to be able to make stuff out of that, so not really worth doing. I say there's usually more than one. But I do want my arrows back. No, we're not. Okay, so these are ores. Those are iron. That one's gold, probably? I don't know what it is. Yep, gold. Iron, copper. We can't really do much with those yet, because we are not far enough into the game yet. But that's alright. We can get some more sticks, apparently, and make our fire. Now in here, we can put some wood for fuel. And we can cook our meat. I think we can cook pumpkin. I'm not sure on that. Yes, we can. We can cook pumpkin and carrot. Now, we're not going to bother farming. We're not going to be here long enough. So we're just going to get rid of the seeds. They're just in the way. And while that cooks, we will work on getting some more stuff to make our bedroll. We still need fur and we still need sticks. Sticks are easy enough to get. Fur, I would really like to find that wolf that keeps howling. What are you? You're a wolf. Really fast levels out of wolves. So we still need some more fur. And you guys respawned a little quick, didn't you? Oh, we are out of arrows. Noted. Alright, so we've got some meat, which will actually fill us up now. And give us a different set of buffs. Our stomach is 3 deep. So we can have 3 different food buffs going simultaneously. And you do kind of have to watch your foods, because some of them look like they're different foods, but they're actually the same food buff. We do need more O2. That sounded like a geyser. Oh, that was a geyser. So we don't have the tools for that either. That's much, much higher than us. So that's how you get enzymes. Now, it is really easy to sometimes lose bodies. There he is. So clearing off the brush around kills is one of the easiest ways to recover a body that you've lost. I really should have left the bones there. Yeast is how you get rid of pneumonia that you can catch from living in a cave, which you're going to spend a lot of the early game living in caves. So you get more fiber on those sticks if you use your hand. You get more on these, but you get more branches if you use an axe. Hi. Still not quite 5. But we should be able... Yep, there we go. Oh, I forgot they added these. It's another type of food. You can use seeds that you don't plan on using to make some seed bars to eat. Alright, so now we are ready to head home. We're ready to put our thing down. So you can tame baby horses to ride. You can also tame... there's a couple of animals that you can tame. The buffalo are really useful for hauling stuff for you. The ostriches are faster than the horses, but they are less tanky and definitely not aggressive like the horses are. So the horses will help you fight better. And we've got a storm coming. That's alright, we were ready to head home anyway. I was hoping that we could get up to level 5 before we headed home and finish this map. Yeah, they're not worth near as much XP as the horses, but hey. Or the horses or the, what you call them. So we're good for storm exposure until we get to that orange part. And then in the red part, it gets truly dangerous. You can see the bar in the upper right for as far as the storm's going. There's our level 5. Yeah, we're approaching orange. We're probably going to get some exposure on the way in. There it is. And we're going to get ambushed by worms. Right? No? No worms. Not that I'm complaining. Alright, so now we can do bow and arrows. And we can do the bone knife. And that's going to put us in a much, much better spot. So let's go ahead and craft one of you. And we're going to destroy you. When you destroy, you get some of the materials back. Not all of them, but some of them. We will destroy you. And then we're going to make as many of these as we can. There we go. So it looks like the only thing we have to do to finish this is hunt, gather, and craft, it says. So we'll wait for this storm to be over and then start heading towards our dropship. We should finish it by the time we get there. Alright, the worst of the storm's over. We should be good to leave. Yeah. Now I suppose we could, since we're going to be leaving, just start chopping a bunch of trees on our way out. For the XP, if nothing else. Extra level never hurts. Because you do maintain your level when you leave. Yeah, you get 375 XP every time you chop down a tree. It's nothing on the 1,000 that you get from a wolf, but trees are a lot easier to find than wolves. Now, everything that we have here is going to disappear when we leave, and it's telling us that. But workshop items will be delivered back, so we're just gonna... There we go, 50 credits. Which is a joke compared to some of the other farm missions, but hey. We only spent a half an hour in there. We got 50 credits. Bunch of rewards, level 6. We went in at level 0. Nice. And that's a real day timer. Whether you're online or not, it continues to tick. So you do have to be a little cautious there. Now, let's go ahead and look at... So we know that if we drop with equipment, we can do this a little bit easier. So we're going to go ahead and run a quick mission over here. This mission is indeed very quick.
Come through for you. Seems like Group 15
so this way you can actually get relics and money as well. So this is on the 3rd planet. We're going to go ahead and launch here, but this time we're actually going to bring equipment. Just for ease. Alright. So I will show you the mission that I do most often to farm and why. It is very quick. Generally speaking, I can do it between 10 and 20 minutes. And for the payouts, that is huge. There we go. Alright. So now we don't have to worry about air at all. So the reason that I bring the little grenade-looking thing is because it put us so far... Well, oh, that was not what I meant to do. It put us so far out of where we wanted to be. Can I please? Thank you. That we would have to get all the way back to our dropship to leave, and this will allow us to call our dropship where we want it. Here's another hidden cave. Which is going to give us even more stone that we don't need. Come on. Where you at? No? Alright. And we'll pick this guy back up and take him with us, because we're done here. We just needed some iron ore. I just want to make sure that we have enough in case I make the wrong item. It's been a while since I've run this. I don't remember which of those two to make. I'm pretty sure it's the contact device, but I'm not positive. You're supposed to go all the way down, up here, down and around, and then all the way back up here. But we use a little bit of wood construct. Those guys are hostile. We use a little bit of wood construction so that we don't have to worry about it.
How in the hell did we get a ping from in there?
Everything's trying to kill our friends. It's my food.
Good. Bad. You've got worms.
So we're just going to exfil. So rather than having to run all the way back out that way to go to our drop pod, we use this. And then you would be good to go. Alright, so now we will drop into one of my persistent. I actually have one with a friend here where we've been building together. So this is my open world with a friend, so we have some stuff built. I'll have to walk over to it depending on where the drop pod comes down, but that's alright. So our house is right here. We live on this big island in the middle. There's a bunch of caves around us. This is the Styx map. I haven't done a terrible lot with it, but that's why we're playing together. He's new to the game, and this way I don't have a leg up because I haven't really played on this map. Now this area is friggin' dangerous with the crocodile. I mean, this crocodile is level 94, and I just realized I don't have any arrows, and he's gonna rough me up. We have some predator deterrents out front and out back. So we have two doors. And we actually have quite a few mounts in here. We left these rocks here because they give us an easy way to get onto the roof. They're actually intentionally left there. We're going to eventually build a second story up here for our sleeping quarters. But he's got a buffalo, he's got a moa, and then I've got a buffalo and I've got a moa. Gertrude's cart's being silly. I have Gertrude, and then I have Scrabble. And Gertrude is apparently eating Scrabble's food instead of her own. So that's fun. And then they have interactable Windows stuff. So we can actually use... This is the quest that we currently have. So we won't be able to request another quest at the moment, unfortunately. But that's alright. This one... So here we can actually request a drop pod or request equipment. So we can have them drop equipment to us while we're already down. It's like I could have them send me a crossbow, some materials, a canteen, and we can send stuff up. We've got a full-on farm going on the side here for making good food. Home sweet home. Griff added the sign. And we've got our storage with pictures of items that are in there. So like this one's wood, this one's rock, etc. This one's miscellanea, and where I dump stuff when I'm leaving the instance, because you can't take it with you or it'll be destroyed. Like that's an iron sickle, not one from the store. And we've got some portable beacons that we can display stuff on the map with. It's like here. And this lamp is actually quite a bit bigger and brighter than the torches, and it runs off of animal fat, which we get from meat. We've got our biofuel stove here, so we throw in some biofuel and we can cook some meat with it. Where did I put my food? I had food with me. I don't know, did I put it in here? Oh, I put it in here. So these food buffs make my health bar and my stamina bar absolutely insane. That's my health bar on the bottom left that is now extending over icons, and then my stamina bar is ridiculous as well. And that is why we are growing crops, because we can make these foods. I forgot to grab my arrows, though, which is probably a good thing to have. There we go. And there's actually an underwater cave in this area, too. And this is in hard mode as well, to try and get us as much, You can see why crocodiles are a little scary. Compared to the other things that we fight, they're a little bit scary. Now, the nice part is, because you are in an entirely self-contained suit, because the air is toxic to us, you do not have to worry about a breath bar while swimming. Alright, now I believe it is, like, right over here. You do, however, have to be cautious of some of the fish. You do consume oxygen a little bit faster while you're underwater as well. Here's our cave. Complete with the hole that we cut. And this cave is absolutely massive. What? Oh, right, more bees. We got some of the new bee stuff, so that's cool. Oh, really? Right outside the cave? Yep, saw that coming. I think here's where I die. Yep. And now there's two. So getting my stuff back is going to be fun. You know what? We'll do it this way. Please don't land on anything important. Okay. I forgot to grab arrows. We should have materials enough to build more. Did both of them despawn? What? I mean, don't get me wrong, that makes it easier to get my stuff back, but that means that we didn't actually need to grab extra equipment. What? And now we're poisoned because of that fish that just attacked us. Oh, no, our pickaxe. We didn't bring a pickaxe. Okay. I think that's all that we call down, was these three things. So we'll return this to station, and you do want to get out of the way because that will injure you. But that'll take all of my stuff back up into space, so we don't have to worry about having two sets of equipment down here. Yeah, this really lights up a much wider area. And some standing torches. This guy burns longer, that's why we've got it set up here. So you have to have fire near your beds. This won't work. But yeah, this is Icarus. Lots of different crafting. I'm just getting ready to get into electricity on this save. I've got electricity on another couple saves, but that's alright. Masonry benches, carpentry benches, etc. We haven't really gotten to the decorating part yet. I had to put some table or some of the crafting stuff up on a shelf, but I want to put in a staircase here, and then have a second floor where we keep our housing stuff or our sleeping stuff. Put in some tables and some pretties. But for down here, we just got this. Now we put these windows in when we had a view, but we had to put up the fence because our tames out here kept getting attacked. So we wound up having to put up the fence all the way around. But yeah, this is the open world. You can tell it's persistent. We just loaded in on a character that we were in the middle of something else on, and everything's still here. So that's super cool. You just have to remember, like, the stuff from the workshop is fine to take back with you. But this stuff, like if I'd taken the iron sickle or my lantern or my arrows, they would all be broken and disappear. Our storm, we don't really have to worry about the storms here because we built with stone. So that's cool. But yeah, if you guys learned anything useful today, or if you had a good time, please don't be afraid to drop a like. If you're feeling friendly, maybe go ahead and subscribe. But either way, have a fantastic rest of your day. And we will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.